It's your girl, the real deal, Anita Gill Reaction channel. And shout out to my new subscribers and my subscribers who've been with me since I started. And those who've been joined the channel. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that y'all do, because y'all are the ones that gives me thumbs up. Um, I'm gonna give y'all time to get up in here, because this content is gonna set the standards for politicians, and rappers. Yes. So I'm gonna give y'all time to get up in here. And this content is for teaching, criticism, commenting, and entertainment purposes. Okay? I'm going to show y'all a brief of what's going on in today's political expectation when it came down to Young Thug. I'm going to show you a brief video, and it's going to be what what they're trying to do in court here is to determine whether to disqualify the Fulton DA in the Georgia Trump election probe. Okay? So those rappers that live in Georgia, we got to see at this particular time, is did the DA do the right thing uh, about the First Amendment, and uh, using the song lyrics against Young Thug and his empire. Okay, well, Young Thug. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna go ahead on and start it out. Y'all thumb me up. You know, it's a thumb like this. Hit that thumb button. Okay, you don't have to peep. You can join in. But this content is about the judge determine whether to disqualify Fulton DA in Georgia Trump election probe. What they're trying to do is investigate Young Thug case and his song, his lyrics. Did the DA, did Fulton DA, was she obligated to use it against him in court? This is very important for any rappers. If you're a rapper and you're in Georgia, this applies to you. So I'm gonna let y'all hear a little bit of the video, and then I'm gonna get into it.
That's it. Hopefully, folks will exercise discretion, but I don't think there is, other than some rules that apply more in a federal setting where the word target means something different, not entirely different, shades of meaning different. I wasn't able to find any legal precedent that said that it was improper or that the court should have barred the investigating body from requiring someone to come in and in their face saying, I'm not answering questions. I'm not even going to tell you my name. That may actually be something that the grand jury ought to know, is that this person won't even give.
Okay, well, then let me give y'all some information what you just looked at, okay? What you just watched. Okay. What they're trying to, I just told y'all what they're trying to determine to do in court, right? Okay. State Senator Burt Jones filed a complaint with the Fulton County Superior Court last week asking the court to disqualify District Attorney Fannie Williams from any prosecution against him in the special grand jury involved in election probe. Now I know you want to know what does this has to do with Young Thug and other rappers. Just follow with me, okay? Okay. Asking the court to remove the DA and her office from the investigation. Now, let me keep going. Then I explain this. I got this qualification was because of potential conflict of interest of internet interest in attorney at the DA office had to prosecute Senator Jones because the attorney has donated to the political campaign and since Jones' rival. Now, all that is saying that the dude that Jones helped Trump win. It's a whole lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. So I'm gonna let you hear a little bit more of the video, and then I'm gonna keep going, cause this will help you out.
Her name under oath. That could be instructive to what the grand jury is doing, and they wouldn't know that if they never met the person.
Well, given that they're not supposed to draw any negative inference from an invocation, I wouldn't think that that would be evidence. But, Your Honor, even if it were, I think the reason you can't find any precedent is because in the federal system and in the state system doesn't do grand jury work very often, so there wouldn't be precedent. And in the federal system, they don't do this. They don't bring targets in and try to force them to testify because they recognize it's unethical, as the ABA has said and as the Georgia professional rules have outlined. And we would ask that, at a minimum, Your Honor, that you ask them to proffer the buckets to you or to us before our people are brought in.
Okay. Fair request. I appreciate that.
Your Honor, may I address one point?
Hold on. Mr. Dillon.
Okay, y'all. I'm gonna turn it back around. Let me tell y'all what's going on. They trying to disqualify the DA for Young Thug First Amendment, his First Amendments. So I was gonna get to that. Determine whether they're gonna change the grand jury or what. If they do that, they have to investigate Donald Trump. See, let me keep going because I'm looking at my notes. Okay, 5 things to know about the Georgia probe into Trump and his allies. Now, like I said, one of his allies was Burt Jones. Not that Burt Jones, not Burt Jones. Okay. In other words, let me tell you, why do this seem like a conflict? It's because all the everything went in effect when Trump was the president at the time. And it's a lot of things that went on that I'm not going to be able to cover today. Now, 5 things to know about the Georgia probe into Trump as his allies, okay? The criminal probe into former President Trump and his allies in Georgia took a striking turn this week with subpoenas being issued to several high profile. Now, what the Atlanta DA You remember she said she got some more people she gonna lock up? It's it to get if this don't change, it's gonna affect a lot of rappers. But if you go by Trump probe, he gonna be indicted. It's political, y'all. It's so hard for me to explain this because I had to sit down and read and and study. Okay, so what? Only thing I'm gonna tell y'all again, the purpose of this whole case is asking the court to remove the DA and her office from Young Thug case because she got a little power. That's what they trying to do. Now, going back to what I was saying on my page B, 5 things to know about the Georgia probe and what I told y'all what I mean by probe. Investigating. It's an investigation, okay, or something. 5 things to know about the Georgia probe into Trump and his allies. The criminal probe into former President Trump and his allies in Georgia took a striking turn in this week with subpoenas being issued to several high profilers. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share something with y'all. Go to Miss Lowdown. You can take this content and what I'm saying in this content and go to Miss Lowdown profile and connect my content with hers. And this is my content is telling y'all what they are trying to do to Young Thug and the other rappers in Georgia. So if you Lil Dirt, and all of them, everybody, all of y'all, Georgia rappers, this gun, if she does, if she, this is big for all those rappers here. This is very big. If they don't stop the DA, half of y'all will be locked up next. So if you take my content, I'm not finished, but if you take my content and Miss Lowdown content and put it together, you'll understand where I'm coming from in this case. Her profile, her content is going to tell you about the rappers here. Mine is going to tell you how they trying to get the rappers here. And Miss Lowdown is going to name the rappers. So if you combine her content with mine, you'll understand what's going on here in Georgia. Okay? Now, like I said, they trying to disqualify the DA here, y'all. They trying to remove her and her whole office investigation squad to not affect Donald Trump. And I guess y'all said, how is Donald Trump is in this? Donald Trump, the one made and created the bill, him and one of the guys on here that don't help donate to Trump campaign. So when you talk about rappers, you're talking about political. So like I said, I'm still reading my content. Go with what I'm saying and listen to Miss Lowdown and combine our content together, then you'll understand what we're saying. 5 things to know about the Georgia probe into Trump and his allies. The criminal probe into former President Trump and his allies in Georgia took a striking turn this week with subpoenas being issued to several high profile. Now, the whole probe investigation, y'all, is about whether laws was broken by Trump and his team in their effort to overturn the 2020 election results. Yes, yes, in the state. Now I'm gonna let y'all hear a little bit of this video because this is talking about the DA, okay, in Georgia.
If you're going to talk more about disqualification, not yet. If it's about Fifth Amendment, you've been patient, so I'm happy to hear from Senator Jones' perspective.
Keeping my powder dry on the whole disqualification thing.
You've already used most of it, but go ahead.
No, trust me, Your Honor. I call the court's attention to the Georgia Code, section 1512-100, the procedure for impaneling a special grand jury and the powers of that grand jury. And under subparagraph C, it says, while conducting any investigation authorized by this part, investigative grand juries may compel evidence and subpoena witnesses.
People, that's what I just told y'all. That's what I just mean. I just said that.
It may inspect records, documents, correspondence, and books, blah, blah, blah. It specifically excludes subpoena targets, Your Honor. And these
Meaning it
rules,
says you may not do that, or?
it doesn't. But because it's not included in the list, we all know the can.
And people, that's what I just explained to y'all about. That's what I just said that. I said the criminal probe into the former President Trump and his allies in Georgia took a striking turn this week with subpoenas being issued to several high profile. The probe is about whether the laws were broken by Trump and his team in the first effort to overturn the 2020 election result in the state. And all of this gonna have to do with all the rappers in Georgia. So this case right here, all these rappers in Georgia live in Georgia are from here. I don't care if you came from Chicago and you moved here, you need to pay attention. Okay. Most experts believe the Georgia probe poses the greatest threat to Trump. Let me say it again. Most experts believe the Georgia probe investigation poses the greatest threat to Trump. Why? Why? Because Georgia probe could be the most dangerous legal error aimed at Trump. One reason is he was recorded. It was a recorded phone call with another legal person. Okay? It was a situation where some cheating came in. Some cheating came in 2020 election. And those are the ones that should be investigated and prosecuted. I'm going to say it again. You're asking yourself, what does this has to do with Young Thug? People and the rappers here in Georgia. All the rappers here in Georgia. You want to know, what does this probe has to do with them? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to let y'all hear this right now. Just pay attention. I'm just breaking it down for y'all so y'all can understand.
Of construction of statutes. If there's a list and it's not included in the list, it's excluded from the list. And this is the provision under which this grand jury was impaneled.
It didn't say subpoena tall people, short people. It said witnesses.
It says witnesses.
You're saying a target is not a witness.
A target is a different category than a witness, in the case law in the state of Georgia shows that, because targets are discussed differently in the landfill case. And that's a good case to cite on that. A target is different than a witness, and this doesn't say subpoena targets. It says subpoena witnesses.
Okay. Mr. Wakeford.
Your Honor, I'll read directly from Willis.
Who's getting a lot of attention. Am I right? Is it a Clayton County with some city council person?
I think so, Your Honor.
Okay, people, let me keep going. I'm just breaking y'all down what's going on. Okay, next. Fulton DA, the lady who been trying to prosecute Young Thug. Listen, y'all. Remember, it has to go with 2020 campaign pro. It got to go with 2020 pro when Trump was in the office. The DA seems to like her chances. Fulton County DA. Her chances. She spoke about her willingness to force subpoenas, even on recalcitrant, high profile witness. Why am I saying this? Why? Why? You just heard the other DA just brought up subpoenas. Okay. I'm going to tell y'all something. With the Young Thug case, it's a great big case. It's like a world. And what she's trying to do is to enforce. What they're trying to do is disqualify her from using his lyrics. This case can be difficult. It can be difficult if you're not into this. If you're not a rapper, it don't. Cause if you're not a rapper, you don't have nothing to worry about. If you're not, if you live in Atlanta, that's where most all the rappers live. What the DA, what is? Let me read that again. She is, in other words, okay. It said the DA seems to like her chances. She spoke about willingness to enforce subpoenas, even on recalcitrant, high-profile witness. She trying to get them witnesses that they need to take Young Thug and his people out. If some witnesses are so afraid to testify against him. So what they are trying to do is to do anything they got to do to enforce it where those important witnesses could come in and testify. But in order to do that, we must straighten, the criminal probe into the former president. They trying to get them to disqualify a lot of things that the DA said. If they don't, Trump in trouble with a lot of things he did. So she gonna win. Then that is about to affect a lot of rappers. Now Young Thug case about to blow up. Okay, let me keep reading my okay. It said, this is what the DA said. Now y'all know in the Young Thug case, it's a lot of people afraid to speak, right? Also in Trump probe investigation, a lot of people, if they change this if the judge decided to change some stuff, Trump safe. If they don't, Trump in trouble along with the rappers. Just pay attention. Now, I'm going to let you hear what he has to say.
Ms. Green-Cross is not, she's the appellate expert. She's nodding her head. All right, good.
One who has not been so charged, informally charged in a formal charging instrument.
Which would be every single recipient of a subpoena so far?
Yes.
Okay.
may be compelled to appear before a grand jury, though he retains the option during his appearance of invoking his privilege against self-incrimination and refusing to testify regarding incriminating matters. This is true even if the witness is a target of the grand jury's investigation.
So Mr. Dillon stood up first, and he's freshest from saying, haha, take lamp.
It's because the reason why they stood up, y'all, in that case is because the judge just mentioned something about they wasn't going to use the word target. And now you see the DA lawyer spoke about it. But this guy here just spoke about it. The other attorney spoke about it too. Okay, y'all, I'm still, this all I do with Young Thug and other rappers. Now, the DA said, I've had a witness arrested before because they ignore her subpoenas. So this is all you hear in this case here is subpoenas to court. When you get a subpoena to go to court, you have to go to court. That's what they trying to do in the Young Thug case. Make them people subpoenas them people so they can come to court. Right now, it's no law for that. So if they go in there and disqualify the DA, then it won't affect Trump. So rapping is very political. Okay, it says, I had a witness arrested before because they ignore her subpoenas. DA witness, DA Willis, that's the DA, y'all, Fulton DA, the lady. She said she feel great about the makeup of the grand jury and underline the importance of maintaining the integrity of elections. Okay? But this, what you see on YouTube today in the news, they are trying to fight this.
So did he skip a sentence? That's a pretty powerful sentence, Mr. Dillon.
Very powerful sentence. And with regard to regular grand juries, I have no doubt that the district attorney is right, but the statute under which the subpoenas issue in this case properly is not that of an ordinary grand.
What they're trying to do, I know y'all not interested, but it's gonna, we need to be interested because it affecting our other rappers here. Okay? All right. Everybody trying to subpoena people to come to court. Cause if you don't get if I cannot do my case, the DA, in other words, DA Willis trying to say she can't do her case if she don't subpoenas me to go to court. Cause I don't have to go right now. I don't have to testify against Young Thug right now. But I may be going against Young Thug and she can't make me go. But if they subpoenas and change the jury and everything be different. But if they change it, it's gonna affect a whole lot of people in this case. It's gonna affect Young Thug and his folks too. And Trump. Okay? The DA said, the Fulton DA said, she feel great about the makeup of the grand jury. They're going to get another grand jury. And underline the importance of maintaining the integrity of elections. She recalled being dragged to the polls as a young girl and added, so you'll understand very early on voting is such an intrinsic right. And she understand how important the infraction of someone's rights. Okay. She's saying that now. but it's not gonna help Young Thug. It's not gonna help Young Thug. And y'all, I'm for right or wrong, but at that present time, did a Young Thug case affect the present the election of the state on Trump? That means some things that happen. It's a whole lot of stuff. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. This is not a one-day thing. Okay. Now, I asked myself, and then I had to do some research due to this case right here.
Jury or another special grand jury, and it's under this chapter in the Georgia Code, and the rules are different.
So your argument is that a regular grand jury that could indict the target, Lample says you can call that person in front of that grand jury who has the ability to indict Lample, and he's going to have to invoke his fifth, from which they need to draw no adverse inference. But a special purpose grand jury, which can indict no one or anything, they can't subpoena a target because they use the word witness instead of target.
Yes, Your Honor.
So he's changed the word to they don't wanna use the word witness. They used to want to use the word target because I'm scared, not me, but I'm using me as an example. I am afraid of my life in this Young Thug case. All of this about Young Thug, y'all. All of this is about Young Thug. It's political. Young Thug case became a big, wide, huge political circus because the DA is trying to subpoena some people to come to court. They're gonna make them come to court, even though they don't want to come to court. That's the whole thing of this trial. This is this case right here. Okay, I asked myself, I said, why should Young Thug arrest should ring an alarm bell for Trump? Like I said, the reason why I looked it up, because I said people gonna want to know, what did this have to do with Trump? That's why I looked it up. And it said the arrest, listen, of Jeffrey, known as Young Thug, should put former President Donald Trump on edge. Because what's going to happen is the targeting. You see, he just said target, not witness. They're going to make you, they're trying to make people go against Young Thug. If you make these arguments, you go get that person, you make that person go to court, them people feeling like they threat. So Trump trying to say they can't do that, but they don't got a new jury. They can do that. That's what they determining right there. Okay? And like I said, I asked myself, I said, for the people, for y'all, I said, why should Thug arrest should ring an alarm bell for Trump? And I came up with the arrest of Jeffrey, known as Young Thug, should put former President Donald Trump on edge. If a rapper, listen up, rappers, if a rapper can catch a RICO charge over a song lyrics, listen now, that's why they trying to knock that Fulton DA out the way. This gonna save a lot of rappers until Trump time his part in. If a rapper can catch a RICO charge over a song lyrics, shouldn't President Trump be able to catch a RICO charge over a tweet and a Twitter and more. Listen what I just said. Listen what I just said. If a rappers, y'all, believe rappers, gang members is a very political, it's something big in every state. It's some pros and cons in the law dealing with them that can protect them. Okay, so I say if a rapper can catch a RICO charge, what they trying to do to Young Thug and all the other rappers over a lyric, shouldn't president be able to catch a RICO charge over tweets and more? Young Thug. When they locked up Young Thug, y'all, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know who idea it was to get him on at this time. When they did that, they target Trump. Well, let me let y'all hear some more of this.
Is the word target used in the non-special purpose grand jury statute, or is the word witness used?
Interesting question, Your Honor, but I do know that the subpoena...
What's the answer?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I only have so much...
Appreciate the
I don't have
compliment.
so much book learning.
All right.
But I do know that the statute under which the subpoenas were supposed to be issued in this case is under Title 15. But the subpoenas actually rolled out under the provision of the Georgia Code that is not under Title 15. And they were, in fact, technically improper subpoenas.
Now, what he trying to tell y'all, you heard what he just said. That the DA is trying to use subpoenas for she can get them people in him to testify against Thug and the lyrics that he's using. But it don't supposed to affect him. Those lyrics not supposed to affect his case. But that's what she trying to do. But that ain't the law. So this attorney right here is trying to tell them it's not there. Use his lyrics to subpoena somebody to come to court. So Young Thug was at the center of a sweep indictment, y'all. When they got Young Thug, he came in at the right time. When they started sweeping the streets, accusing him and 27 other criminal gang activities. When they got Thug, it messed Trump up. when they got Thug, it messed Trump up, okay? Young Thug is the founded Young Slime Life, a violent, they gonna call all street gang violent, founded in Atlanta in 2012. The 56 count indictment includes multiple felony charges, related racketeering, drugs, and weapons. And y'all remember, when Trump was in office, they swiped that RICO, all that right there. All of that right there. All of that. And it's still a fact. But what the DA of Fulton County is trying to do is use it. This is something else, y'all. I know it doesn't mean well to nobody, but to me it does. Okay, the DA Willis, what the DA did was use some of Young Thug lyrics as evidence. And that's why they are having court now, to make sure it don't
Because they
happen.
were issued under the normal statute and not under this chapter.
So I guess they could republish them and re-sign them, and if that's the...
Exactly, and then recognize that this rule applies and not the landfill rule that they're citing here today.
Okay.
Your Honor, we could take a slightly different differentiation of landfill without,
A third read of
I
Lamb.
think, well, it's actually the same read, and that is, the sentence that he read is dicta. What the Supreme Court was saying in Lample, we had an individual who didn't take his fifth in the grand jury, in the special purpose grand jury. The special purpose grand jury abused its authority by having him there. He was then later indicted in a proper grand jury, or I'm not suggesting they're improper, a different regular grand jury, and then he tried to evidence suppress from the special grand jury. This is not about whether they can compel people. We're not disputing they can issue the subpoenas. Everybody says they can. That's the only thing Lample even arguably says. The only issue then is you get to quash them if you want to, if you believe that you should. And there's nothing that says your authority under the statute or under your supervisory authority is in any way affected by Lample whatsoever. So,
Okay. Let me keep going. Let me keep going while they fighting this. Okay. Fulton D.A. Willis used some of his lyrics as evidence. A reporter asked Fulton County D.A. Willis to speak to the First Amendment issues at hand, since the indictment listed song lyrics. In Young Thug case, in any rapper case, they are not supposed to use his song lyrics into his case, which that's what the DA did from Fulton. They weren't supposed to do that. And what she said, she responded back and said, I believe in the First Amendment. However, it does not protect people from prosecutors using it as evidence. It is such. She's wrong for that. It is such if it in the amendment. Right? Right, y'all? This is right. They can't take a rapper. Let's forget about Young Thug. But this who really saved a lot of rappers, this Young Thug. They trying to take the lyrics that y'all rappers make and put a charge on y'all and send y'all to jail for the rest of your life. That's what this is. But what they are doing right here is trying to fight that law, that amendment. But how can you change the amendment if it was what you call it? When it was there, when at that time it was part of the amendment, they took it out.
you clearly have the authority to do what you think is proper with this grand jury here, and we're asking you on behalf of our clients not to have them frog marched in front of the cameras into this courtroom.
Okay.
At this point, Your Honor, I will address the original point I was going to make, which is I believe we have heard the phrase frog marched in front of the cameras 3 times now.
Right.
I do not want to talk about this, but I have to at this point. Publicity is a hindrance to the special purpose grand jury's work. I believe earlier, Ms. Pearson stated that there may have been a witness in here yesterday, but she didn't know who it was or how they appeared or what they had talked about, which is an indication that witnesses can come before the special purpose grand jury and no one ever know anything about it. If witnesses exercise their First Amendment right to disclose after the fact or before the fact called, then they are allowed to do that. That is the source of publicity around this. It is, I think, we are tired of hearing that there is being publicity ginned up by the district attorney's office in order to create a circus around this when we have actually taken pains to try to create an environment of secrecy around this. So there is no frog marching, and there are ways to come before the special purpose grand jury without publicity being brought into it. And I just wanted to clarify that point after the third time we heard that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate much of what you said. I think it's a little rich to suggest that any particular side has avoided the cameras. One need look only at basically any major news outlet and
See, I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is what the DA is upset about. Is First Amendment for Young Thug. When it come down to probe, okay? She said, I believe in the First Amendment. That's what her attorney just said. You can't believe in the First Amendment if you're going against what Young Thug did. You can't, because you're trying to use his First Amendment against him. So, however, it does, she said, however, it does not protect people from prosecutors using it as an evidence. It is such. No, it's not. You can't use the First Amendment that wasn't in there to let it be an evidence against Young Thug or anyone. You can't do that. So the DA, that's what they fighting against now. So Young Thug plead not guilty because he did a lyrics. He said Young Thug plead not guilty. He was simply exercising his freedom of speech as an artist, and that the state seeks to insinuate criminal conduct from quotation from a song and social media posts. I'm gonna tell y'all something. This young Thug, you know, I heard somebody the other day, I ain't stunned young Thug. They can do what they want to do. But let me tell you something. Young Thug case, Young Thug, when they did that swept through Georgia, cleaning the streets. When they got Young Thug, they did that for a reason. Because now they're going to try to get Trump. And if y'all put charges on Young Thug, and you can't subpoena nobody to come to court, what the DA trying to do is subpoena people to come to court, but they are afraid of Young Thug. Then y'all, they can't hold them. But let me let y'all finish hearing this, because this is what I'm talking about.
you'll see who is talking to the media, and it's not always the lawyers for the witnesses. So I think everyone involved with this has taken full advantage of media coverage. That said, there are some things that can be done, I know, because I've been asked to be involved with it, to ensure that witnesses can enter the building and leave the building without much harassment from the media, and we could continue to do that. I don't know that there are many of Ms. Pearson's clients that the media would even recognize when they walked up the...
Now, Miss Willis is the Fulton County DA. She did Fulton DA. She is afraid that her witnesses that's going to come to court next year during the Young Thug case, she feared that somebody going to say something to them. So she trying to stop the judge, trying to get the judge to protect her witnesses coming out the door. Because, you know, when you come out the courthouse, you don't know who out there. You just went against the king. So this court case has got something to do about everything I just talk to y'all about, and also check Miss Lowdown. Miss Lowdown is talking. I'm giving y'all the business part of what Miss Lowdown is talking about in the case. I'm giving you the from the court point of view, Georgia pro laws, okay? And she giving y'all what she who rappers they trying to who it affect
steps
after
of the
rapper.
courthouse, and that's how they came in. So I think the concern about another outreach from the media to you saying, I've heard Y, I've heard Z about Senator Jones, that you can source only to the district attorney's office, as opposed to, hey, any witness who comes before that grand jury is free to talk to the media afterwards if he or she wants to.
It's absolutely correct. And as you know, that's how grand juries work.
Right.
They're supposed to operate in secrecy, which is what was anticipated when this was founded. But the witnesses are free to go talk. And some of the witnesses probably did talk. But certainly, Senator Jones had an interest in the public not knowing that Fulton County considered it.
Right.
He did not talk. We know that. The leak of the existence of this target letter and subpoena, actually, violate the canons of ethics that the district attorney operates under. And one of the things that we have with regard to Exhibit 5 is the ethics training that the DA's office gets from their general counsel, Mr. Robert Smith, who is the general counsel for the Prosecuting Attorney's Council of Georgia. And
I'm not gonna play that whole thing, but I just want to come in and talk to my rappers, my rappers, and what that whole case right there about in Georgia, what this whole case about. That whole case, this what they going to court for right there. If they change the law like that, get another jury to change that law, it may affect Young Thug. But at the time, if it affects Young Thug, that means that they can get some. They got the jury. They about to get a grand jury. About to get some witnesses. Atlanta got some. It's some witnesses out here talking, y'all. So if you from Georgia, you hear from another state, and you part of Georgia now. The DA trying to get y'all. She trying to bring y'all in right now because she already know. Like Miss, if you take my content and Miss Lowdown content, I'm telling y'all how they trying to target these people and what they trying to do to change the amendment to affect the Young Thug whole case. So how Young Thug got caught up in this mess, I don't know. But there's some more people coming in. If they change this law, rappers, all of y'all should be on pen and needles. If they don't change it, you good. But if they change it, go ahead and change it. It got to do with the grand jury. It got to do with the jury. Y'all good. Then if it don't, it's gonna be a whole bunch of mess. It's gonna be a whole bunch. It's not gonna be good here in Georgia. It's not. Cause you mean to tell me that you either gonna make me be a target or you gonna make me be a witness. Cause some people want to witness what happened. Like he had witnesses to come up there. Okay, that was cool. Now I'm scared. So you telling me I'm scared to testify? The DA trying to get it where I can be subpoenas to come to court. They can subpoena you to come to court. If that law change, they change that amendment, y'all. They're trying to change the amendment, the First Amendment, and Young Thug is using it the right way. But they thought about it when Young Thug plead not guilty. This brought up a whole. See what he brought up? Young Thug brought up. They had to go to court to knock a whole lot of stuff out, and so they can use it, keep them from subpoenas people. He trying to keep them from subpoenas people from coming to court. The DA, is trying to make them come to court. So they fighting in court about that. If they could end up getting subpoenas
With
to come
permission
to
of the
court.
board, I'd like to mark this as Exhibit 5. I think the district attorney offered me an affidavit from Mr. Smith earlier today, so I think they rely on him as an expert in regard to ethics.
Okay.
And so with this time, I would offer Exhibit 5 into evidence and request to publish it.
Sure.
Edwards.
I don't object to the submission of the document. I can't verify its authenticity if Mr. Dillon is representing to the court the source of this information, where he got it, that it's accurate, true, and complete, and that's probably going to take care of my objection. I just look at it and know that this is the presentation that Mr. Smith gave.
Right, it's too long for you to do that just in this setting. Any reason we should be concerned that this has been altered in any way, or it's anything other than what Mr. Smith presented to not just this district attorney, but presumably all.
My understanding is that this is his presentation and he does it periodically, and that he would have done it during the time period that Ms. Willis was the district attorney here.
Okay.
Can I ask for a representation of where you obtained this PowerPoint?
This is available on the internet.
Did you pull it off the internet?
Let me explain to y'all what's going on while y'all looking. This guy is fighting Young Thug rights. They trying to use his lyrics against the DA. She's sitting right there. Y'all can't see her. This is her lawyer. She got about like 5 or 6 lawyers. She trying to get it where they can have. So her team trying to get them to where they can have some subpoenas people to go to court. If they end up fixing it where they can get subpoenas people to come to court, it's gonna affect my homeboy right here. It's gonna affect Young Thug. And you know, y'all, I don't have nothing against wrong is wrong, right is right, but right now, the whole big thing, this whole trial that they're going through, just because when they swept, they came up and started sweeping up Georgia. New disqualification that they're trying to get rid of DA with was what's going to become a conflict. It was going to become a conflict against the DA office to prosecute. They got to prosecute Senator Jones first, y'all. If they prosecute Senator Jones because the attorney had donated to Trump campaign, I can't get it. I can't get it no better, but I'm gonna be fathering this case, y'all. And let me let y'all see the DA again, because just in case you don't remember who the DA was, I'm going to show you the DA again, okay? I hope I kind of broke it down for the rappers, because right now, they ain't even worrying about who she's getting ready to take down, but they need to be watching this case, because this case is going to target the streets. When she said she had 2 more rappers she about to get, if they disqualified, it won't happen. So they need to be paying attention to this, the information that I'm trying to get them, some important information. But like I said, if you check my page and Miss Lowdown page, I'm giving y'all some important information, and she trying to tell y'all about the rapper who is it going to affect. Here you go, right here. This the DA we talking about. We talking about her. Now here come her folks. Look how her folks come up in there, boy. Look at all her attorneys. All of them gonna be rich. That must be her husband right there. They cute. So. Now that's her. Now this is her. Now I like this lady. Let me tell y'all something. I love her. I love her. Whatever she can do to help our state is good for me. So if she wins, she win. And then she lose, she lose. But I like this lady. She's trying to protect the citizen here in Georgia from street crime. Now, that's one thing that I like about her. But the fair situation is where they after the jury, it's gonna be up to the jury, y'all. It's gonna be up to the jury. Looking at her husband. It's gonna be up to the jury to make the choice. So I will young thug, I be praying. I be praying. But I like her now. I like the our DA. I love her. I love her. But I just had to go through this and let y'all know the reason why they trying to do a disqualification. That's why I came here today to explain that and break it down for my rappers here in Georgia so they won't be scared. You know, they won't but right now I can't say whether or not to be afraid that it's gonna be you next or what. Because they can subpoena certain rappers to come to court. That's why she said she got 2 more she gonna get. So I like the DA now. I like our DA we have. I love them. You know, if the crime was committed, do the time. You did the crime, do the time. But I like our DA. I love her. She's a smart lady. She's sweeping the streets. But if at that moment, if the amendment did not affect Young Thug music, they trying to get them. They trying to get them. But the main thing, y'all, is the subpoenas people to come to court. That's what they trying to do. She trying to get it where they can subpoena people to come to court. And that will be a good thing that she's doing. That it will be the advantage of Young Thug case. Is to get people to talk who don't want to talk. That's what she's doing. That's the only way she can get Young Thug. Is she subpoenas people to come to court. People, I appreciate y'all time. Do a favor for me. If you miss my live and you are interested and you're a rapper in Georgia, please visit this live. And then when you leave my live, come to my live first. The reason why I'm saying come to my live first because I just gave you some information that Miss Lowdown, she didn't give it to you, but she got the information that I really need to come behind me. So go to Miss Lowdown page. Come to mine first and hit the like button. The reason why I said come to mine, hit the like button, because I put a lot of time and work in it like she did. But if you come to mine first, the information I just gave you about the First Amendment and this secret probe cost, this Miss Lowdown got the information. Go over there and thumb her up. She got the information of the rappers that it might affect if this lady win. If she win, our DA, which I hope she does, it's gonna subpoena people to come to court to testify against Young Thug. Cause guess what? Those people has been threatened. Those people has been threatened. Pay attention to what's going on. If you from Georgia, pay attention to what's going on in Georgia. They out there. They working now. The games are working now. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. I hope I gave y'all a little information what's really going on with the Young Thug cat. I know y'all say F Young Thug and all that. It can happen to you. But everybody law different in every state. But for those rappers, we got a lot of rappers here. Just calm down. Wait till this over with. They got so they won't target y'all music with what y'all put in y'all music. The lyrics, they won't use it against you in court if the grand jury wins. This is your girl, the real deal, Anita Gill. Just remember, everything you do is political. I'm out.